Hello everybody and welcome back to the PowerPoint presentation on the history of Ireland. I was supposed to present this slide in the very end of the second PowerPoint presentation time video of the history of Ireland, but unfortunately it stopped itself. I wasn't being able also to get the animations in, so I'm going to try again this time and see if it does work. I will then present the slide, and then I'll present the rest of the slides, and I'll end this presentation at the end and do some checks and accessibilities and some slides once I finish the entire story. There's only about 5 slides left. This history of Ireland presentation is a long one. It is the longest PowerPoint presentation I'm doing so far, and there's a lot of information to present as well. Here we go, it's working. So now it's going to be about the media and publishing in Ireland. So it's all about the media that's going on around Ireland. So several daily newspapers are published in Ireland, including some that have a national circulation. Leading dailies include the Irish Independent and the Irish Times of Dublin and the Irish Examiner of Cork. There also are a large number of regional weekly papers. Dublin is the centre of the publishing industry, and nearly all of the Republic periodicals are based there. RTE, the national state-owned radio and television broadcaster, began radio service in 1926 and television service in 1961. A second RTE television channel, RTE2, was launched in 1978. RTE is financed by revenue from licence fees and advertising, and is government appointed RTE Authority. The regulation of the television broadcasting is one of the responsibilities of the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland. The only country where you can watch RTE is just Ireland. It's also where Love Hate was produced and where everyone watched Love Hate when that was published back in 2010. And then fortunately Love Hate ended in 2014. It was the last season, which was season 5. The 14 came into an end the next year later, when we heard it from the news online. And now I'm going to explain now the early history in Ireland. The human occupation of Ireland did not begin until a late stage in the prehistory of Europe. It generally was held that the first arrivals to Ireland were Mesolithic hunter-fisher people, represented largely by flint work, found many in ancient beaches in the historic counties of Antrim, Down, Louth and Dublin. Lake and riverside finds, especially along the River Bann, showed a comparable tradition. A single carbon of 14 date of 5725 plus 1110 BC from Tuam Bay, north of Loudnith, where woodworking and flint have been cited in support of a days in Ireland, but such a single date cannot be considered reliable. Archaeological work since World War II, however, cast considerable doubt on the adequacy and affinities of the people who were responsible for the Larnian industry. So those were the important part of the early history in Ireland. Now here's the next slide that I've had problems to load up here. It is the Bronze Age in Ireland. So, what is the Bronze Age in Ireland? Two great insertions established the early Bronze Age in Ireland. One was represented by approximately 400 megalithic tombs of the wedge tomb variety is associated with Beaker poetry. Throughout the early Bronze Age, Ireland had a flourishing metal industry, and bronze, copper and gold objects were exported widely to Britain and the continent. In the Middle Bronze Age, about 15,000 BC, new influences brought urn burial into Eastern Ireland. From about 1200,000 BC, elements of a late Bronze Age appear, and by about 800 BC, a great late Bronze Age industry was established. A considerable wealth of bronze and gold is present, an example of which is the Great Clare Hand gold hoard. Now, this is now going to the Iron Age in Ireland. The period of the transition from the Bronze Age to the Iron Age in Ireland is fraught with uncertainties. The problem of identifying archaeological remains with language grouping is necessarily difficult, but it seems likely that the principal Celtic arrivals occurred. Irish sagas, which probably reflect the pagan Irish Iron Age, reveal conditions in many respects similar to the descriptions of the ancient classical authors, such as Posidonius and Julius Caesar. The Celts were an Indo-European group who are thought to have originated in the 2nd millennium BC, probably in East Central Europe. They were among the earliest to develop an Iron Age culture and has been found at Holstein, Austria. Okay, I finally got to the last slide. This is the next one, and this is the last slide. This is the final part of the history of Ireland PowerPoint presentation. So this is mainly about the early Celtic Ireland. So this is about the Celts back in the 1900s and the 1800s. Surrounding a kin was an aristocracy whose land and property rights were clearly defined by law, and whose main wealth was in cattle. Greater Londo downers were supported by Seely or clients. These and other grades of society, minutely classified and described by legal writers, tilled the soil and tended the cattle. The transport of goods over land was by pack horse. Fields appear to have been few. Sea transport was by current. A wicker framed boat covered with hides, the normal freshwater craft, was the dugout. The Irish laws point to a large development of armorial industry in the period in which they were first written down, shortly before the Norse invasions beginning of the end of the 8th century. Shoes of rawhide or tanned leather were worn, at least by the upper classes and the higher professional ranks. Yeah, that's it. That is the end. Now, before I say my goodbye to the video and say the farewells, I just now want to check the accessibilities and the slides. There seem to be no issues with the accessibility, so it's excellent. It is very good so far. That's very good. Now let's go back to the title page and check slide. Oh, okay. Okay, I fixed the problem, so there's no issues in this slide. Units are okay. Oh, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right here. Once this is fixed, I'll then say my farewell. Okay, I'm gonna have to say goodbye for now. So that is the end. That's the end of the history of Ireland. So thank you all for watching and have a good day. Thank you all. Adios.